caused in any activity that increases sweat gland productivity. Now, going back to this particular sentence here, syringomas mostly develop in early adulthood between 25 and 30. Women to report it more often than men. Syringoma sometimes run in families. Up to 18% of people with Down syndrome have syringomas. People with diabetes, syringoma tend to disappear over the long period of time. So when your hormonal situation changes and become more balanced, in this video, I'm going to carry out a readout of the webpage called Causes of Syringoma. Syringoma is a benign, non-cancerous growth caused by overreactive sweat glands. Syringomas usually develop on the neck, upper cheeks, and the lower region of the eyes, but occasionally they grow on the abdomen, armpit, scalp, belly button, and genitalia. In most cases, syringomas are harmless and do not cause any symptoms. Rarely, however, some individuals with syringomas experience extreme pain and itchiness, especially when sweating. Causes of syringomas. The name syringoma is derived from syrinx, the Greek word for tube or pipe. Syringomas are benign tumors of the sweat ducts, eccrine glands. These tumors lie in the mid to deep dermal layer of the skin. Syringoma can be caused in any activity that increases sweat gland productivity. Now, going back to this particular sentence here, it's very important because one of the reasons why syringoma recur after treatment is because at clinics they don't really know how to remove them, therefore they just flatten them with the surrounding skin, and therefore just 10 days after treatment you'll find them exactly where they were. So what to do with them, when removing them, you've really got to go a bit deeper inside the skin in order to remove them, in order to give the best chances to remove them effectively. So that's what's got to be done in order to minimize the likelihood of syringoma recurrence. Syringoma can be caused by any activity that increases the gland's productivity, which may lead to tumor growth. In addition, some conditions affect the sweat glands and may mean you are more likely to develop syringomas. These include genetics, Down syndrome, diabetes, Marfan syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I do not have a clue what that means. The most common locations for syringomas are upper cheeks, lower eyelids, armpits, chest, abdomen, forehead, genitalia, penis or vulva. Fast facts about syringomas. Syringomas mostly develop in early adulthood between 25 and 30, but actually can develop even after that. Syringomas are linked to several different medical conditions, including diabetes. Though rare, some people have genetic predisposition towards developing them. Once syringomas have been diagnosed, there is usually no reason to treat them because they are not a disease. Signs and symptoms of syringomas, but basically going back to what they're caused by, we don't really know what they're caused by. We mention a few things there, but really very likely is familial. Let's just say if somebody in your family is just this genetic predisposition towards it. So if you have them, very likely it's none of your fault. It's just a genetic predisposition, and very likely linked to some hormonal factors. The reason for it is that we found that over a long period of time, they actually disappear on their own. So it's not as if you've got syringoma and they're going to be there with you forever. After a while, they're going to disappear on their own accord. So this is why we suspect, and there's no studies about it, that it's maybe likely due to a certain hormonal situation in your body. But once again, if you have them, don't be worried. They're really not causing you any harm. Signs and symptoms of syringoma. Syringoma usually appear as small bumps that grow between 1 to 3 millimeters. They are either yellowish or flesh colored. They typically occur in symmetrical clusters on both sides of your face or body. Eruptive syringomas are usually found on your chest and abdomen and appear in multiple lesions occurring at the same time. So basically, when syringoma are on anywhere else other than your face, they're referred to as eruptive syringoma. Syringoma aren't itchy or painful and are usually asymptomatic. Usually. So they're usually not itchy or painful or anything of the sort. Sometimes they can be. Syringoma is a skin-colored, yellowish, firm, rounded bump. So when you touch it, it's really hard. It is well defined and sized 1 to 3 millimeters in diameter. Syringoma usually first appear at puberty, but additional lesions can develop later. They do not itch or cause pain. The condition usually appears as a crop of multiple lesions, typically around the eyelids. They can also appear on the forehead, upper cheeks, armpits, chest, and lower abdomen and genitalia. The clusters normally distribute on both sides of the body in symmetrical fashion. The abrupt occurrence of syringoma in a group on the chest and abdomen is called eruptive syringoma. Clinically, it may be mistaken for vulgaris sebaceous hyperplasia, apreplasia, melia, lichen planus, or granuloma annulare on the trunk. Oh my God, I couldn't read that. Who's at risk? Syringoma can occur at any age, though they usually occur after puberty. And this is why we suspect there is something with hormonal situation that can cause it. Syringomas can develop in people of any age. And not only after puberty, we find many people just after 40 starting to develop them. So it's a bit random from that point of view. But again, our suspicion lays with some hormonal activity within your body. Of either gender, though females are more commonly affected, as we know, that can be because they're most commonly affected, is just maybe more likely to actually report it, because they don't want to have syringoma a plain sight to everyone. Basically, women are more self-conscious than men, and this is the most likely factor that have women to report it more often than men. Syringoma sometimes run in families. Up to 18% of people with Down syndrome have syringomas. People with diabetes mellitus are more likely to have this type, a type known as clear cell syringoma. A less common condition, eruptive syringoma, is more commonly seen in people with darker skin. What do syringoma look like? Syringoma are multiple skin-colored small bumps measuring between 1 to 3 millimeters in diameter in people with skin color, pigmented or dark skin. They may appear as yellowish or pale bumps. Syringomas are more common in women and most frequently appear during or after adolescence. The most common location is around the eyelid area. In eruptive forms of syringoma, the trunk, chest and abdominal areas are involved. So their color is yellow, brown, pale, pink, and skin toned. Usually Syringomas develop over time, but some people, especially younger individuals, may experience sudden or eruptive Syringomas. Eruptive Syringomas can often cause intense itchiness as well as redness and pain. Now, this is extremely rare. It's not often. We got it wrong here. It's very, very rare that they're itchy and they're red and inflamed. Extremely rare. The majority of Syringomas are not associated with symptoms. Exactly right. Some people may experience itching with sweating. Actually do the same, but I haven't got Syringoma. What other problems can occur with Syringoma? The majority of Syringomas are spontaneous. Inherited genetic factors are spontaneous. What that means is just they occur on their own without any apparent cause. Inherited genetic factors may play a role in some cases, in most of the cases I should say. I think what happens there is some genetics or epigenetics causes a certain hormonal dysfunction maybe, and that's what I suspect and we suspect that could be caused by. Inherited Syringomas usually occur in pre-adolescence. Eruptive Syringomas have been reported in Down syndrome. Syringomas have also been associated with other rare genetic conditions such as Bruch-Spiegler syndrome. Syringomas are often mistaken for other skin conditions. Conditions with symptoms similar to Syringomas include milia, Lichen planus, xanthoma, sebaceous hyperplasia, acne vulgaris, flatwarts, basal cell skin cancer. Oh my god, that's really bad. So yes, so basically the point here is the causes of Syringoma haven't actually been identified for sure. So number one, there is a genetic factor. So if some of your relatives have Syringoma, you are more likely to get them. But why genetics? It's very likely linked to some genetics condition, some familial genetic situation, so to speak. There may be an hormonal imbalance that can be causing this. So what I'm saying here is it's not proven. This is our personal opinion after seeing so many Syringoma, especially because Syringoma tend to disappear over the long period of time. So when your hormonal situation changes and become more balanced, then Syringomas will go on their own. So if you have Syringoma, you rest assured that by the time you're 80, very likely you're not going to get them. You're not going to have them. So this is all for this video. If you would like to know more, we've got more information on syringomaremoval.com, and you can always get in touch with us. Thank you for watching.